everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, hello, my name is Sophie. I am a graduate student and I love to read books. It's kind of a long time no see because I haven't posted a video in a little bit. I had my gallbladder removed and was recovering from surgery. I had a lot of personal life things happening, and I am in the process of moving to the city where my university, I was gonna say where my university is set in, like a book. We're not living in a book, Sophie. Let's get with it. Are we though? We might be. Hey guys! The title of this video that you probably saw before you clicked on it is that today I'm going to be reading books recommended by my favorite booktubers. I actually saw my best friend Grace do this on her channel, and I'm going to link the video below. I love you, Grace, so much. I am so excited to do this video because it's what I already do. I already take recommendations from my favorite booktubers. Today, the first booktuber that we're going to be discussing is none other than the Queen Sarah Caroli herself. Sarah is somebody who I aspire to be every day of my life. I look to her for fashion advice, for TikTok ideas, for the books that I read. I think out of like the 53 books that I've already finished this year, Sarah has probably read 50. I'm not even kidding. She's a queen, she's a fast reader, and she also has impeccable taste. So what's not to love about that girl? The first book that we will be going over this video is one that Sarah just read in one of hers, and she said that the audiobook was super entertaining, and then she picked up the physical book and she loved it as well. This book is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelley Van Pelt. This cover is from Barnes & Noble. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive with the sprayed edges, and it says that there is special content inside too, so I'm not too sure what that is yet. But little fun fact on this book, I saw it at Target once, read the back, and was like, it's about a girl who befriends an octopus. I'm not gonna read that. And then Sarah talked about it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it then. Like, okay, Sarah likes it, I'm gonna read it. Sarah said the audiobook is so entertaining, and you know what? I believe her. So I got the audiobook on Libby, but I also picked up the physical copy, and I also got the ebook on my Kindle from Libby for free. So I've paid $18 for this book, but I have it in 3 different formats because I'm a psychopath. So I think on the audiobook I got to 22%, but I'm going to just restart it fresh on my Kindle just to... I wasn't paying that much attention, let's be honest. I was doing other stuff while listening to it, but I do know that the parts that I heard, I was very intrigued with, and I definitely want to be more invested into the story to give you a more adequate review. So let's get into it. You'll find out the second book that we'll be reading after we finish this one. I kind of want to keep you on your toes a little bit. It's so great to see you guys again, by the way. No, I can actually see you. I've now read 2 chapters of Remarkably Bright Creatures, only up to page 12. So the first chapter starts in the octopus's perspective. His name is Marcellus. He gives you his little background on how he got his name and how long he's been in captivity. And you learn in that small little chapter that Marcellus has been in captivity for 1,299 days, and the lifespan of an octopus is only 1,460 days. So there is not that much time. He does say the title of the book, and this is all just on page 1 and 2, talking about the plaque that is on the enclosure for him. He says it mentions my intellectual prowess and penchant for cleverness, which for some reason seems a surprise to humans. Octopuses are remarkably bright creatures, it says. It warns the humans of my camouflage, tells them to take extra care in looking for me in case I've disguised myself to match the sand. Oh my gosh, this poor guy. Then the next chapter is in third person, and that is talking about Tova, who is an older lady working at the aquarium, and she got the job recently, and also recently lost her son and her husband, and it's just her going about her closing process for her shift and how she talks to all of the sea creatures. And there's a little scene with Marcellus. In order to not give you any spoilers on this book, I think that will be the most that I'll get into with specific details, because like I said, I only got to page 12. I do not want to give anything away, and I hate whenever booktubers give too much away, so we will stop there. Well, for now, I will give you more about my opinion, but I will not give you more about the plot. I will give you more updates as they come along. Okay, I hope that this isn't a really bad angle. I'm making cookies. Okay, we are in my new apartment. There is not a lot of stuff here yet. Like you can see, there's a chair and my bed's in there, but I got bookshelves and almost all of my books are here. I still don't have Twilight and Harry Potter, and there's some missing that I think my grandma has, but here are my bookshelves. I'm excited to show you. We have this little guy and French poetry. This is from my French professor at the first college that I went to, and she was the sweetest person ever, and I just think it needs to be displayed too because it's so beautiful. Then I have the Jane Austen books that I have. This is a special edition of Pride and Prejudice that my mom got me for my birthday a few years ago. And then these are obviously the Barnes & Noble ones. And this little thing is from Goodwill, and I organized my pens and bookmarks in it. Like, I'm so obsessed. We can go into more detail later on. Then all the books below are just alphabetized by author's last name. At the moment, I'm thinking of changing that to organized by genre so they look a little bit better. Up here we have this little guy, and then the books that I have with sprayed edges, because I just thought that that would be neat to show those there. Then we have the physical copies of my Jessa Hastings books with the bee, obviously. I love how that looks, and I especially love how they look side by side with like the 4 books and like the centerpiece. I am getting ready now because I have orientation for my graduate program, and I need to walk up to the building, and it's like a 22-minute walk, and it's almost 90 degrees out today. So this is what I'm gonna wear. I have on jeans because I don't know how formal of an event this is supposed to be. Like, it's a graduate orientation, so my mind tells me like we're supposed to look nice, but like I don't know. I really don't know what I'm supposed to wear. So a nicer top, jeans, and sneakers is going to be like the happy medium that I came up with. Before I go, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Remarkably Bright Creatures because I hadn't given much of an update with the book yet. I think I previously said that the perspectives keep changing every other chapter between Marcellus the octopus and Tova, the older woman who works at the aquarium. But there are actually so many other people in that third person perspective with Tova, like, that aren't even related to her in any way that I know of. So I'm not going to go into all those, but yeah, there are a lot of characters. I think I'm maybe like 30 or 40% in the book. I've been kind of relying on the audiobook because I'm still in a book slump and not really wanting to read, but I do really like it. And everything that happens with Marcellus, I'm the biggest fan of. I love his little relationship with Tova. She talks to him whenever she cleans the aquarium at night, and then in his perspective, he like says he understands what she says, and like he's so smart for this little octopus. He is so freaking smart, and I wish I could be best friends with him. Yes, that's the update. I do not have a full-length mirror here yet, but here is the fit. I'm gonna get ready to go because it's like a 22-minute walk. Wish me luck, I'm scared. Okay, I got back a little bit ago from the orientation and it went very well. There were very nice people and they gave us free lunch. Then I got my student ID and there were people giving out free stuff, so I got some free stuff. Then I got a coffee and literally drank all of it on the walk home. Hello everyone! It is a few days later. I am in my apartment. Last night was actually my first night here and it went pretty well. I did have a little breakdown, I'll be honest, but it went pretty well. Yesterday I finished Remarkably Bright Creatures and I did heavily rely on the audiobook in order to finish it just because I was in a bit of a slump, but the audiobook was genuinely so good. Whenever Sarah said it was a good audiobook, she was not lying. I laughed physically out loud, LOL'd, and cried to this book. Like, that is how good it was. My final rating for Remarkably Bright Creatures is 4.5 stars. I couldn't give it a 5 because, and it could be my own fault that I was in a little bit of a slump, but if I continue to think about it, maybe in the coming weeks it will change to a 5-star. In terms of Sarah's recommendation though, we know she's the queen of booktube. She is my biggest inspiration ever and I think that she slayed. I read Magnolia Parks because of Sarah. I read Heartstopper because of Sarah. I read over here Beartown because of Sarah. There are so many more on here that I've read because of Sarah, and I kind of make videos because of Sarah because I love her videos so much. I love how they make me feel comfortable and I just love genuinely every single thing about that woman. So Sarah, I know you're probably not seeing this, but if you are, I just want to say how much I love and appreciate you. You see me in your YouTube comments sometimes and you're always so sweet back to me, and I mean, you're a gem. I don't know literally where I would be without you, girl. The second YouTuber whose recommendations we are taking for this video is my personal best friend. Her name is Grace. She is a part of Read Between the Grinds with her and her childhood best friends. Their channel, they just started a few months ago. They started posting book videos every Saturday. Grace and I met, honestly, it was about a year ago. We have only been friends for a year, but she feels like a person that I can talk to about literally anything, and I have, and I will continue to do so. And we went to Barnes & Noble last week, and she pointed out this book and said, this is one of my favorite books ever. She gave me a little synopsis of it, and I was like, okay. And then the whole idea for this video came from that conversation. So, hi Grace. Okay. I picked One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid to take as Grace's recommendation. She said this is one of her favorite books of all time, and I am very excited to get into it. I actually started it on my Kindle last night and I read 36 pages, and that's the most that I've read in over a month. This book follows Emma, who is engaged to Sam. She's in her early 30s. But you find out early on that Emma had been in love with a guy named Jesse who went in some type of war or on duty somewhere, and she thought that he died. So she moved on and she's getting engaged to Sam, but she gets a phone call and Jesse's still alive. Then it goes into the past, whenever Emma was meeting both boys and everything with her childhood. I think it starts with like her freshman year of high school. I don't know if it's a true romance book or if it's just like a drama, historical fiction. I honestly don't know, and I don't really want to know. So exactly what I just summarized to you is what Grace gave me whenever she was recommending it to me. I will keep giving you updates with the books. I cannot wait to get into it and to let Grace know what I thought about it. Hello everyone! I haven't given you an update in so long. This week was my first full week of classes and I started a job, so I'm incredibly busy and kind of only reading about 10 to 20 pages a day, but I am, I think 60% of the way through One True Loves and I'm loving it so much. So much. I'm addicted and I cannot wait to find out what happens. I am reading it in my free time, but Grace and I are also reading Hamlet because of The Life of a Showgirl coming out at the beginning of October. So we are meeting tomorrow and having a little book club. I think that's so fun because she's also the inspiration for this video, so maybe I'll get a little clip of us. We're gonna meet at Panera and eat and discuss Hamlet, and I cannot wait. It's pretty good. But it's a little hard to decipher because I'm not too familiar with Shakespeare because I haven't read it since my senior year of high school when we read Macbeth. But I do like it. I like the idea of it and I can't wait to see what Ophelia means to the life of a showgirl. Taylor did something because there's a song titled, is it called something, the something of Ophelia? There's a song about Ophelia, so we will see. I'm not gonna spoil anything even though the play has been out for like 500 years. Don't worry, you will not get spoiled, but yeah. So that's the plan, and I will let you know whenever I finish One True Loves, whenever that's gonna be. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it and kind of savoring it, honestly, because I like being in the middle of this book. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, that's your update. Hello everyone! I just finished One True Loves last night and I'm here to give you my final recap of that and of Remarkably Bright Creatures and the conclusion to today's video. One True Loves had me on a roller coaster. I was so much more invested in it than I had thought I would be. The initial plot kind of sounds boring and like, what, it's just about her finding out who her one true love is, but no, it's very mundane. There are so many parts of this book that do not feel arbitrary at all. It all feels realistic. There's something, everything has a reason. Does that make sense? I don't want to give any spoilers, but I was able to kind of guess what the ending would be, and I was pleasantly surprised by how it was worded and the way that Taylor Jenkins Reid went about it. My final rating for One True Loves is 5 stars. I loved it so much. And although it took me so long to finish it, it's just because I just started my master's degree. I just started a little job. Like, I would have read it all in one day if I could have. You know what I mean? It was just so freaking good. So I'm very glad that Grace recommended this book. Whew, oh my gosh, it was so good. So let's talk about the 2 books that we read in this video. Unfortunately, I can't even show you my physical copy of Remarkably Bright Creatures because I gave it to my grandma to read. I told her about the silly parts in the book and she was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I gave it to her, so she's gonna read that eventually. But Remarkably Bright Creatures was Sarah Caroli's recommendation. I think either July or August she read it. And then in a video that she just posted a few days ago, she was tier ranking everybody's 5-star reads. So her subscribers' 5-star reads, and somebody had put Remarkably Bright Creatures. And she put it as a book that is good, but she's moved on. So she isn't, now that she has finished the book, she isn't really going back to it a lot and thinking about it. I think that that's the opposite for me. So she rated it 4 stars. I ended up rating it Remarkably Bright Creatures 4.5 stars. I also am always thinking about it whenever I see an octopus or whenever I'm giving somebody a book recommendation, because everybody in my life knows that I'm a big reader, and I think it's a great book because, you know, even though I like romances, I'm not going to recommend a romance to everyone. I think a general fiction book is probably the best type of book to give somebody as a recommendation who maybe isn't even that big into reading. I've been talking about it and thinking about it nonstop, and I'm very, very obsessed with it. Now, One True Loves I did just finish last night, so I can't tell you if I'm going to be thinking about it for that long. I do think I will. Did I mention that I was picturing Jessie as Jess from Gilmore Girls and Sam as Dean from Gilmore Girls? Did I mention that? Because I was, and it made me very much more involved in the book. You know what I mean? Like, I'm able to picture these men. Anyways, I think that this was a great video idea because I am already always taking recommendations for my favorite booktubers, because what else am I gonna do? I'm watching their videos. I love these girls as human beings. Obviously, Grace is my best friend on the planet, but she also gives a really good book recommendation. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please let me know some book ideas that you'd like to see in the future. Fall's coming up. I'm thinking of maybe, high on the maybe. I'm thinking of maybe doing a fall TBR video. So, we'll see. That's a maybe. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for supporting me, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!